Hi everyone, my name is Heather Aston and this is my YouTube channel, TT's Trinkets and Treasures. Welcome. This is your first time. I hope you enjoyed this video enough to hit the like button, subscribe, and set your bell notifications to all. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. I appreciate all of your support. Tonight, I'm going through a series, and it originated from a live sale that I did on March 31st. And one of the featured beads were some chevron glass beads from India. And the one I chose is red, black, and white. And I've been challenging myself to see just how many pieces I can make with this 1/28-inch strand of beads. And so far I've made 2 necklaces and a couple of bracelets, and I'm hoping we're going to get close to finishing up tonight. If nothing else, we'll hopefully get close to where we can maybe just do like a bracelet bash or something of that nature. But tonight we are going to start with a men's bracelet. My husband Steven and I actually designed this together, so that's always extra special. But let's go ahead and go down to my mat so you can see what beads I'm talking about, and I can show you how we're getting started. So these are the beautiful beads from India, and on the top and bottom you see that little chevron starburst, and on the side there are these little diamond patterns in red, black, and white. And I just love these. They're probably my favorite that I got, although I got another strand when I was down there tonight that were beautiful that I'm sure I will use in a project later on. Never mind. I just found them. Here's another one of the strands, and this one is more like blue and yellow and like this Amazonite blue, which is, yeah, you get it. We're going to be putting that together with Amazonite because if you don't know, Amazonite is one of my favorite gemstones. So we are going to start the night, though, with a little bit of macrame. And basically, I cut a piece of approximately 112 inches of one of the lawns, as I like to say, because I'm not sure if it's C lawn, S lawn, or B lawn. So I just say one of the lawns. And I married up the ends and I tied a regular knot around this flag pin. And then I started doing alternating half-hitch knots. And if you've never done one before, all they consist of is holding one of your 2 cords straight and the other you're going to go over, under, and up through the loop. Now, it's important that you keep the working cord or the cord in the middle taut and pull up. Otherwise, you just get a regular knot versus this one kind of goes back and forth and makes it look like chain. And then when you are done with that one, you're simply going to reverse and you're going to go over, under, and up through with the other side, and again just hold your string taut until you have about 6 inches, and then you're going to marry up your ends again, and using a thread burner or a lighter, whichever you have handy, you're going to start by melting these ends, and then you're going to twist them together. I don't know if I got those quite together or not. Okay, you're going to put them together so that it's that much easier to string through your beads rather than trying to fish 2 through. So we are going to start by creating a pattern using these chevron beads, some 5mm silver plated spacer balls, and some 8mm buffalo horn heishis, rondelles, whichever you think they are. I think they're heishis, but that's just me. And we are going to start this by using one of the, just one. Oh, wait, no, 3. Sorry. I was incorrect. you're going to use 3 of the chevron beads in a row. And then we're going to go into our pattern, which is a 5mm silver spacer ball. This does not want to sit right. Sorry about that. 5mm silver spacer ball. And then you're going to use 2 of the 8mm buffalo heishis, another 5mm silver spacer ball, and then you're going to go back to the chevron beads, and that's the way you're going to string your beads up. So you're just going to continue with the pattern. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to use your spacer beads. The silver, 2 8mm black buffalo horn heishis, and another silver spacer. So I'm wanting to make this probably a 20-inch bracelet. So if I've got a little over 6 inches right here, and I'm going to do the same length on the other side, that gives me 12 inches. So we are going to need at least 8 inches of beads. And we can add or subtract to that at any point in time. My husband does not want to focal on this necklace. So I'm just going to keep beading up the pattern until I have my 8 or more inches, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I actually went ahead and did 12 full inches so that it could be a longer necklace. And I'm just going to make the back, one moment. I'm sorry for that interruption. As I was saying, I went ahead and did 12 inches of it and I'm just going to make the back of it adjustable, which I'll show you how to do. But now that we are done with the stringing, we're going to go back to the knotting. And we're literally going to do exactly what I said I did at the beginning. I'm going to put my little flag pin right here in between the 2 strands. And I don't want this too tight, but I also don't want there to be any gaps in the beads. We want there to be fluidity, just not big, huge gaps. And then you're just going to start the knotting process again by going over, up under the strand and through the loop, holding the one strand taut and running the cord at the other. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side, over, under, and through the loop. And you're just going to keep going through this until you have the same amount, 6.5 inches, as you do on the other end. And this is going to provide us a cord that is very reminiscent of I don't know, like a black curb chain, not curb chain. In case you are new here, I have a condition called Durkheim's disease, and one of the things it does is it creates memory recall issues. So I cannot think of what it is called now. A rope chain. That's what it's called, a rope chain. But in all natural material, well, not all natural, this is polyester cording, but not a metal back. I know that some people have metal allergies, and this gives them a way to still go ahead and wear this because the silver spacer balls are smaller than all the other beads on the strand. So that's not going to be touching their skin. The part that will be touching their skin will be the glass and the buffalo horn. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to make this adjustable just as soon as I'm done with my knotting. So let me get this down to the end and I will be right back and show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm back. And I owe you an apology because I got my lengths corrected and then cut off and burned the end without showing you how to do it with the thread zapper. So I apologize for that, but I am loving this necklace. I think it's really cool. I think it's going to look great. And I just really like the overall look of it. If I really wanted to, because somehow I did just get a little bit of a gap here, so I might attach some kind of focal to it, but it's also because these beads are bigger than the cord themselves, so they can pull up. So because of that, do I want to add a focal? No, you know what? He said he wanted it plain. So what I'm going to do is, let me see if this tube bead is long enough for this to go through. And it is just barely. So let me grab my slightly bigger one. Although I could just use my knotting tool that's right there on the desk. I will show you guys with both if I can find my bigger one. Here it is. I just ordered like 220 of these in multiple sizes so that when times like this happen, I don't run out. Sorry, guys. I keep going out of camera view, and there's not really much of a point of having my face there if I'm not staying on. So what I'm going to do is right here at the end, all I'm going to do is do an overhand knot. That's all I'm going to do, and I'll show you why. Because I need enough length later on, and to get it right where I want it, I'm going to take these Xeron pliers. You can use tweezers. Actually, I think I am going to use tweezers just to make sure this gets good and tight. So I'm just going to do an overhanded knot and put my end through the loop, and then I'm going to take this this other strand, I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to move the knot down as far as I can. Just to keep the beads in place where they should be going. And then I'm going to go around to the other side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. The good thing about the alternating half hitch knot is that it does have quite a bit of stretch to it. As you can see, it kind of stretches out, but it also like pops right back in the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Make sure I didn't get these too tight. Nope, it's so nice, slinky. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to the world of silicone O beads. You guys, these are great for using to make an adjustable necklace, bracelet, whatever. All you have to do is pull your cord because it's silicone. You can open these pretty far without it breaking. And you're just going to pull your O bead right off the end, which was not the goal. And I'm going to go ahead and use 2 of these. I like to use 2 just in case anything were to happen. And they do have metal beads like this. There's like metal over the top of a silicone ring just like that you can purchase if you would rather it be more metallic. Okay, now that I have them on this side, I need to get them on that side and go through the middle. So all I'm going to do, again, let's do one at a time. is I'm going to put my Xeron pliers right between into the silicone. I'm going to grab onto the other cord and I'm going to pull it down over the top. And then I'm going to do it with the last one. Did I get it? I don't know if I got it or not. Nope, I did not. Ugh. This one is just being stubborn tonight. The whole video is going to be you guys trying to watch me pull this through. Because, in case you don't know, I don't edit. With my Durkheim's disease, it's just too much of a process. I'm going to try to grab onto it using these pliers and putting it like through the last little knot right there and pull that through. That should make it go easier. There we go. Okay, we have it. So there we go. We have our necklace, which I really, really like. I think my husband did a very good job picking what he wanted. Okay, now the fun comes in because now we're going to do barrel knots at the end of these knots. Just to give them a little bit of pizzazz, but I'm probably just going to do a double barrel knot. But you're just going to come under and around, and the second time you're going to work towards your thumb. I mean, we can try a third one, I guess. I just didn't want to use up too much of the length, but it might be okay. Let's see. Okay, there's the barrel knot on that side. We're going to go ahead and do it on the other side, and we're going to try to position it with a little bit over a 1/2 inch. If I can't scoot this down a little bit more, which I would like to if possible. There we go. I got it down a little bit more. Just trying to work the knot down, which you can do. See, I got about, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch, 1/2 inch at the end. So we're just going to grab and do the same thing on the other time using the 2 bead. And you're just going to go under and then start wrapping towards your thumb. When you get around the 3rd time, you're going to go into the back of the tube and push it out. Be sure to hold on to your knot. I'm sorry, guys. It's late and I'm not in bed, so they are up still because they think they're going to miss out on something and they're barking. Hold on, just sorry about that, guys. I normally try to do this like during the day when either they're napping or my husband is home to keep them quiet. But it worked out that I had time to do this tonight. And there you go. You have a quick and easy adjustable necklace just by pulling. The silicone keeps it in pretty tight, but is loose enough that it goes right through. So if we were to measure this on our bracelet from top to bottom, it's about an 18-inch bracelet. A little bit shorter than I wanted it to be, but I think he's going to like it because he likes them to hit like right here. I'm just kind of worried that it's not going to fit over his head more than anything, and I might be correct. I might have to take these barrel knots out and just do a regular overhand knot right at the very end because I did lose about 2 inches of cord doing the barrel knots. So I might not be able to keep the barrel knot. And if not, all you need to do to take it off is just kind of move the top or the first little loop down, and then you'll be able to get a hold of the inner cord. You're going to undo it, and you're just going to slowly do it by uncurling one loop at a time. Same thing on the other side. And like I said, you're just going to move it down. Pull those out. One twist at a time. Now, if you wanted to knot longer, I would suggest that you do at a minimum another 4 feet of thread. That way it's plenty long enough without, because if I don't have those big long knots in here, yeah, it's almost 24 inches. So that's what I mean. It just determines, it's just based on what you like. So now I'm just going to try to do a very small knot at the very tip of this. And tell him he has to be extra super careful not to pull the silicone over the end of his cording. And now he'll have more options in case he wants to wear it shorter one day and longer than the next. Come on, you can do it. Stay at the end, please. I could grab my tweezers and do it that way, but you know, that would be the intelligent way of doing it and probably the faster way of doing it. But guys, I'm really happy with this necklace. I think there's going to be a part 4 of this video though. There's the necklace. It is done and ready to go. Now, I do have another design ready right here that I can show you. And that is it. But the cool thing about this is that the earring hook is literally built in to the hoop itself. So you don't ever have to worry about this coming off or anything like that. So let me get my supplies together and I will be right back. Okay, everybody, and I'm back. So what we need for these earrings or earring, because I already made one, is we need one of these black check glass teardrops, which I got in the Broadway Bound Sam's bead box from a few months ago. And then we're going to need these check glass O beads, which I love and have in a few different colors. Obviously, we're going to need 8 of our chevrons. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, I think I got them quiet. All right. Anyways, you're going to need the chevron beads, the teardrop beads, some 3mm silver-plated spacer balls, and some of the check glass O beads in black. And this is what we're going to do. We are going to start out by grabbing some 20 gauge wire. If you have smaller holes and want not as large of an ear wire, because it is built in directly to the back of, or the top of the earring actually. And I'm going to cut 8 inches just to be safe. I don't think I'll need all 8 inches, but I'd rather have too much than not enough, especially for this project. So we are going to start by putting the teardrop on in the middle. And then we're going to do a metal bead. So I keep it on the thing. 2 O beads. And another metal bead. And then we're going to go ahead and put one of our chevron beads on. And then we're going to do that pattern again. It's just a metal bead, 2 O-rings, a metal bead, and then another chevron bead. And you're going to do this until you have 4 chevron beads up each side. So I'm going to do that and then I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have 4 chevron beads and I've also put in a silver, 2 O beads, and another silver bead on both sides, what we're going to do is we're going to bring these in. And they will start off as a teardrop shape and nothing to fear. You do need to keep one side way shorter than the other. Put the majority of the length on one side of the wire. And you'll see why in just a second. Okay, so we're going to pull it up. And like I said, we're not too worried about the shape just quite yet. So hold on one second. And we're going to take our long strand and put it straight up. And then we're going to get these beads all the way around so that we don't have any gapping. And then we're going to take it and we're going to wrap it around the longer of the wire. And like I said, you're going to want to do that kind of tight. And then you're going to go around again. Till you have a nice, neat little wire wrap. And then you're going to kind of squish those wraps down so they're right up. You guys, I missed a step. I just realized I missed it. I'm like, why is this so fiddly? It is fiddly because I missed a step and hope sincerely that I will be able to fix it. But if not, I might have to pause you again and then come back. I knew I was missing something. Okay, get these both up. You're going to grab a 5mm spacer ball. Good mess. It's late, y'all. It's literally almost tomorrow. In 7 more minutes, it will be tomorrow. So now we're going to put the 5mm bead on top of both of them. And we're going to slide that down. And then I hope it's going to come up enough. And then I'm just going to wrap around the wire, just like I did a minute ago, but now it will be on top of the spacer bead, and we will cut off. Okay, that's better. We will work on shaping in just a minute. But first, like I said, we're going to want to tuck these wraps down as close as we can get them to the bead. If there's anything that needs to be tucked, go ahead and do so. And then all we're going to do is pretty much the exact same premise as this one, which is all I did was put the very end of my chain nose pliers on and bend it backwards. That's all. And then I believe this is either the 5th or the 6th step. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's the 6th step. So all we're going to do is we're going to put our bail making pliers and we're going to put the step we want to do this at, and we're just going to wrap it over and down. And you will see that you have a rather long kick up tail, but as long as you match them up pretty well, I mean, if no one should be that close to you, and if they are, they shouldn't be worried about your earring design. Just saying. Okay, and then we're going to kind of snip this off down a little bit to give us enough room to do our little kick up. But first, we're going to try to shape these very similarly. And in order to keep the hooks from getting messed up, we're going to put them back to back. So there's enough room. I'm going to put one of my teardrops out that way and one out the other way, and make sure that both of my loops are relatively close in size. And then once I've done that, you can pull out your bench block by all means and hammer the top to kind of lock it in. I like to use the box joint in my multi-step pliers, and I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. And you're going to get that nice flat edge like you would on a French wire. And then you're just going to go to the bottom, not leaving too much space. Well, it's your preference, but my preference is not to leave too much space. And then I'm just going to go back and I'm going to file the end of this. Oh, I made this one quite a bit shorter, actually. So let's go ahead and trim that a bit, which doesn't bother me none because my ear piercing was not even anyways. But there we go, you guys. We got a beautiful pair of hoop earrings using the India glass beads. It looks like this is not going to be the last video because I still have a tray of beads here. And I do have another earring design, but it only takes one of the chevron beads. So I think instead we are just going to wrap up this video for tonight, and I'll come back and do a couple other projects. But it's literally almost the next day now. I hope that you all have a wonderful evening, that you like, subscribe, and set your bell notifications to miss out on any future content. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future during my next video. Bye, guys.